Hello everyone, and welcome to Endless Becoming. My name is Ashna, and I have a special thing that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about fear. Fear has been something that has been with me my whole life, if I'm being honest, as I'm sure is the case for many of you. And I feel like I've been learning so many really cool things about an emotion, or I guess like a way of being that I always used to shy away from or used to bury down deep. I always felt like when fear came up, like, okay, like time to get out of a situation, something's not good, something's not feeling good, let me just get out and then shove that fear down, pretend it doesn't exist anymore because I've gotten rid of whatever may have been causing that fear. But what I've come to realize, and I will share how I came to that realization, I think that fear is actually an indicator that there is something we need to double click on. There is something that we need to get more information on. There is something that our fear is trying to show us. And to go back, I can't recall where I exactly learned this, but I do remember learning way in the past that our kidneys have to do with fear. And I go to acupuncture like twice a month. So I was at my acupuncturist's this past weekend, so this past Sunday. And she does this thing where she reads my pulses and she kind of sees which organ systems I'm deficient in, where I'm good in, like just what's going on in my body. And she told me that my kidney yin was low. And I'm that someone who asks 1,000,001 questions because I'm always trying to figure out exactly what's happening in my body. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? When we do this thing, how does it impact my body? I've always been super curious about anything to do with health and the body and just health and wellness in general. And she told me that in Chinese medicine, fear and wisdom are seen as flip sides of the same coin. And for me, what that meant was my kidney was like operating a little bit lower. So that meant that I might have had fear coming up to the forefront. And instead of my wisdom and my knowledge coming from a rooted place, it was coming from a fear place. But even in Chinese medicine, fear is seen as your intuition, your body, your wisdom is trying to tell you something. It's just tinted with a little bit of fear. It's not coming from like the rooted place that you think wisdom would come from. And there can be many reasons for that, which I don't want to go in right now, but I have definitely been in a state where, a sneak peek, I'm actually in the process of building out a coaching business that I want to share with you guys at some point very soon, but I've just had a lot of fear around that. And so I wasn't surprised that she picked up on that when I went in for acupuncture. And before I go into that coaching story, which I do want to talk about, or just like in general what's been going on the last couple of weeks, because I'm now realizing that fear has been this pretty constant theme of what's been happening over the last maybe even month, I would say. But something that I might have talked about this before, I take intuition classes with this school called Guided Light Healing. And one thing that my intuition teacher said, or my teacher said in general, is like, whenever you feel fear, it is your intuition's way of telling you that you are missing something. So whenever you feel fear, you gotta double click into it and it will reveal something to you. And all this sounds really great, but people share all this wisdom with me and I'm like, yeah, this sounds great. But then it's not until something happens in your life where it where that piece of knowledge or wisdom comes up and is relevant that everything sort of clicks. And I kind of feel like I've been in the beginning stages of something clicking, and I'm actually going to work it out with you in real time because that's just how my brain works. It's just like if I spend too much time thinking about something, sometimes it clicks and then I kind of forget about it, but I really felt like this was important for me to share with you. So I want to work through it with you guys in real time. So, fear. So when I think about fear, there's two main ways that this has been coming up for me over the last couple of weeks. One is, like I mentioned before briefly, I've been feeling like it's time for me to launch my coaching business. And what I mean by that is I always knew that that was something that I wanted to do, that I know I have all this knowledge, I have all of these learnings, I have even coaching certificates, and I have all knowledge and learnings from like different places. So like I'm like super rooted into health and wellness space. That's where I have my coaching certifications. I've been like living, breathing, like bleeding that lifestyle for years, especially since moving to Austin, because there's such a big health and wellness community here. I've like leaned into that even more heavily. And then I've been learning all of this knowledge about like working with the body, embodiment, how to work through emotions. I've done so many different modalities of healing. I've done parts work and therapy and EMDR and acupuncture and chiropractic, like so much stuff. I've done so much stuff. And I've recently been thinking about like, it's kind of time, like I feel very intuitively called. Like there's like a voice in me, not even a voice, there's a pressure in me. There is like this mounting pressure that is making me feel like it is time, girl. Like, Ashna, it is time, it is time. And it's been like scratching at me, like, you know, little cat scratching at a door, or like gnawing at me, like a dog with a bone. That is like, it is time for this next phase of my life. And I have been in this state of utter panic up until I'd say maybe a week or two ago. Utter panic, because I've just been like feeling so much imposter syndrome and fear of failure, and like, you know, I have this business naturally grounded and I've been selling, like, what do I do with that business? Do I keep it going? Do I shut it down? Like, what does it say about me if I have this business that's running well and I shut it down? Like, all of these like belief systems that I thought I didn't have, or I thought I had worked through, because I have been running my own business for, well, this business for about a year, but I have run other businesses over my life, and all of this stuff has come up to the surface, and I've been battling with all of this fear of failure, fear of letting people down. But it's not even letting people down. It's like this situation has really highlighted to me how my self-love and my self-image, I have all this work to do, because and like how I have all of these perceptions of like, what are people gonna think about me when they see me doing this? Are they gonna take me seriously? Like, do I take myself seriously? Do I love myself? Like, do I believe in myself enough? And I think that is something that, like, the wisdom that my fear has been sharing with me is that I still have all of these places of like places that I need to grow in. Like, I have all of these like pockets of dark pockets, and until I fill those pockets up with love and light and all the nice things, and this is a pretty bad analogy, but hopefully what I'm trying to communicate is getting through that. Like, my fear is just showing me that I have these steps that I need to take before I can successfully launch my business. Because if I, for example, had launched my business without fear of any of this, I just don't think my business, my coaching business especially, would go well. People would be able to spot this in me. I would probably have a lot of subconscious beliefs running in the background that people would be able to sense. It'd be in my energy. I wouldn't be fully confident. I wouldn't be speaking to things with confidence, I think, ultimately. And so I think that it's funny. It's like me feeling this pull, or feeling like it's time for me to open my coaching business, is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's something I've been working on. I've been working on a website. I've been like talking to people, talking to people who can help out with strategy, or just like people who run their own coaching businesses. I've been asking them for advice and all this stuff. But I think that what this past month has been for me has been a call to level up, and like all of these fears that I have that I didn't realize I had, I gotta start working through them if I want to be so successful and succeed in my business, and not only become a successful businesswoman, but also like help tons of people like raise above their issues. I have to start working through all of these things that I didn't even know existed in me. And this is totally something I just realized in this moment. And I knew I'm just like such a talker. I'm really good at processing through talking, because that's kind of how my brain puts things together. And I do spend a lot of time talking to myself and talking to my husband and my friends, but sometimes you just gotta turn on your phone and start recording and start talking. And that is when the true genius comes. That's crazy. Yeah. So like, back to what I was saying before, fear has been such a like, it is wisdom, right? Like what I think my intuition or my inner voice, like we don't want to use the word intuition, like what I have been trying to understand is that there is still like this work that I have to do. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. My mic wasn't working, and that's so funny because I could have sworn that I charged it, but that's okay. But basically, where was I? Yeah, I was just talking about how the fear was actually a sign that there was all this stuff in me that I needed to work through and I needed to level up. And if I want to start coaching and I want to start working with people and helping them with their problems, I got to work through a lot of my own stuff. Shit. So it's like once I stop, and I feel like I'd already started doing this a little bit inadvertently, but once I stopped looking at the fear as something bad, and let me tell you guys, I sat in that fear. I was like moping, I was mopey, I was crying, I was like, who am I? Like, I can't do this, like tearing, like, you know, going to my husband for comfort all the time. And I just want you to know I sat in the fear. It fully overtook me, but now that I'm looking back, I feel like I'm working through so much stuff and I'm getting so much more and more confident, and it shows because like when I talk to people about this, I feel like I come to it now with the level of confidence, and like I know I have all this knowledge. It's just about how do I package it and how do I put it together in a way that is like presentable and like makes sense to people and actually brings people in. So that's like one thing I wanted to talk about with fear. Another thing that has been coming up with fear is, so I just started martial arts, specifically Muay Thai, not too long ago. It's been like, this is literally my 3rd week. And I have done kickboxing before. I was actually going to this like HIIT kickboxing workout up until like October. I stopped it in October. We're like towards the end of November. And so I kind of came in like, you know, a little bit confident. I obviously knew I was going to be like going out of my comfort zone. It's but something new, as it always is. That first class kicked my ass. Like when I tell you I almost passed out because I didn't realize that I crossed my limits. Like I was like, oh my God, I've never been this close to passing out in my life. So that was my first class. I made it through, did not pass out, was like, every class you're partnered with another person. This like great girl came and partnered with me. It was awesome. Like she was awesome. So I did walk out feeling good, but that like the next like couple classes, I was so afraid of going to class because what started coming up for me, oh, like you're not good at it, that's why you almost passed out, like are you sure you should keep continuing it, like what if you get paired up with someone, like especially a man who is like so much stronger than you and so much more advanced than you, because we do a lot of partner exercises, and like whether you're holding up the pads and your partner is punching you or you're the one punching, like, you know, it's a lot of working together. And so for me especially, it's like when I'm holding up the pads, I want to make sure that like the person I'm partnered with is having a good time as well. But like, you know, all these thoughts like, well, you're never gonna get good at it, you're not strong enough, like this is so difficult. And like I was filled with fear. But like literally before each class, I'd be giving myself a pep talk. I'd be like, okay, Ashna, like you're strong, you're great, like listing all these reasons why I'm so awesome and amazing. I'm like, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And it actually really freaking worked. Like I would get into class, I would, one thing that I've inadvertently been doing, and I learned it's actually a neuroscience thing, is like, and this is a little hack, I will play a song that really gets me hyped up. And I don't even do this on purpose, but sometimes when I'm on the way to a workout, especially Muay Thai, I will play like really hypey songs that make me feel really good about myself. And it's not that they're super high energy sometimes, it's just like songs that make me feel really whole and full. And I will play that song, I'll be like dancing in the car on the way to Muay Thai or whatever workout or something hard that I'm going to, and it'll automatically get me in this better mindset. And there's actually like a neuroscience to it where like your brain can make connections between like emotions that you attach to a song. So that is something that I was doing. I was like literally hyping myself up. Like I would go stand outside in my backyard in the sun and I'd just be like, okay, like why am I great? Like why am I gonna be so good at this? And I would like ask the universe, I'd be like, universe, please pair me up with like a really nice person who's gonna like be really kind to me. And it worked. Whether you believe in that or not, it worked. I feel like all my partners have been so kind. I have been paired up with men who have been stronger than me. My thing with men is like, yeah, like I just feel like they're a lot stronger than me, and I'm like, how am I gonna hold when a man punches or like kicks with all his strength, especially if, you know, they've been doing Muay Thai for a while. I'm like, how am I gonna hold up my pads and not fall over? But it has worked out. And I think if I had to think about what that fear was telling me, I think that fear was a wisdom in a different way. It's almost like, I think that fear really taught me. So I don't know if you guys have heard, if I've talked a lot about the ego with you guys. And the ego, I know in some ways in society, we refer to the ego as arrogance, or like, oh, like that person's egoistic, that person has a big ego, which we're trying to say that person is so arrogant. But another way to think about ego, and I think this is more like, I feel like the Greeks, like traditional Greek word is ego. Don't quote me on that. But it's basically like, how do I explain this? It's like the part of you that really wants to keep yourself safe and protected. So like, you know how like our brain loves patterns, and our brain loves knowing what to expect, and our brain also likes to keep us, it likes us to do things that keep us safe and comfortable, because in some ways, actually in all the ways, doing things out of our comfort zone is hard. It challenges us, it pushes us, it forces us to make new neural pathways in our brain. It forces us, in other words, to like create new ways of doing things, to create new knowledge bases. And all of that's scary. Like when you think about like, you know, going back to like prehistoric times, it was like, you know, like it was like every man for himself and every woman for herself. Like it was very much like, it was very important that we did the things that we knew, and things that we knew would keep us safe and keep us comfortable so we didn't die, you know? So there's like this like part of our brain that is really rooted in survival. And so the ego, the job of the ego, it's almost like this part of us that's like, I gotta keep Ashna safe. We gotta keep Ashna comfortable. You know, this is scary. Like going to Muay Thai, maybe getting partnered with a man who's much stronger might hurt us. Like we gotta be safe. Like we can't do anything outside of our comfort zone. We gotta stick to what keeps us happy. And so yeah, I would be filled with this fear of like, I'm not going to be good enough. I'm going to fail. Like things aren't going to work out for me. I'm never going to get good at this. I should just stop now. I should just quit now. Ashna, stop going. And also like each class is so challenging. Even now, I'm only on my like 3rd week, and I do 2 classes a week. So 2, 4, 5. I did my 5th class this week. I'm going to go for my 6th class before the end of this week. And yeah, it was just like, and I knew that wasn't truly my intuition or my inner knowing. I knew that was the part of me that just wanted to stay safe. And I feel like this has happened to me in so many different parts of my life where I've like listened to that not even fear, that ego part of me, that part of me that just wants to keep me safe. And I know I've missed out on opportunities. It's like been like not raising my hand to volunteer for something that I really wanted to do, or not going to an event that I really wanted to go to because I was scared of going by myself and scared of what people would think of me, or like not asking that person for his or her number, even though I thought they were super cool and I really wanted to hang out with them. Like I think that there's been so many little aspects of my life where I have let that protection dictate what I've wanted to do with my life. And this time I actually pushed past it, and I continued going to classes, and I have had some of the best classes, like most fun classes. And I feel like the classes for me have been like, and this kind of ties in with the coaching and all, like the fear I've been feeling around coaching, like, and I would also say that the fear that I felt was like this wisdom. Like I just knew, I think the fear and the wisdom that was the flip side of it was like, I'm so powerful. And again, tying this back to the coaching, I am so powerful, and I push past all the limits I think I have. There was this experiment that was done, I believe with the Navy or like some US military group, I'm pretty sure it was the Navy, where like they found that if we listen to our brains, our brains will be like, okay, you like, if the scale is 0 to 100%, our brains at 40% mark will be like, we can't do it. You can't do it. It's too hard. You're not going to do it. Just step back now. And most people stop at that 40% mark. And I felt like that was me at my HIIT kickboxing, where it was challenging. Like, yeah, it was a lot of endurance, but I wasn't feeling like I was breaking through my limit. And that's exactly what pushed me to sign up for martial arts. I've never done martial arts in my life. I mean, I've done the kickboxing, but it was more of like a HIIT workout. And so I pushed past those limits, and now I'm in this completely new place, completely new zone. My ego is screaming. All my fear centers are screaming. They're like, where the fuck are we? Why are we here? And the wisdom was that I'm so powerful that I can do anything I want to do. And I can either do what I've done in the past and like let that fear stop me, let that ego self stop me, or I can push past, prove to myself how freaking powerful I am. And what I have noticed is the more I'm excelling at Muay Thai, the more I'm learning, the more I'm like going to class feeling comfortable, the more I'm building my endurance and not passing out, or like not feeling like I'm gonna pass out. That strength and power is bleeding out into so many different parts of my life. And I'd even say that everything, this confidence I'm feeling with my coaching business, with my career, is also partially because of this like power that's building up in my system. And I think that it's just so cool that both of these things happened at the same time. And it did suck because there was this time where it was over, like when both of these things overlapped, and I was just afraid and I was fearful and I was miserable and I was like, why do I do this to myself? Why can't I just have rest? Why do I push myself? But like, one thing about this healing and growing journey is that it is very much a journey. And I don't know if you guys know of NF, he's a rapper, but he raps a lot about just like when I'm in my feels, when I'm like really going through shit, I listen to some of his songs. It's mainly The Search, Hope, and now Fear is his new song that was just released. And that's the thing, like, especially that his song Fear talks about, and that I've been listening to that song a lot. It's like, I almost feel like in our society, we are taught that healing is the destination, that you do all this work, you work through all your traumas, you work through your limiting beliefs, and all of a sudden you have become this, this like saintly angelic version of you that's like, oh, now I'm perfect, now I'm great, now I'm going to excel at life. But the truth is, there are so many steps to this healing journey. And honestly, I'm not sure, not in a depressing way, I'm not sure if there's ever like a destination with it. Like, I think that the destination with healing is like every time you reach up, you like go up a step. Every time you go through like a level up or a growth, you become the best version of yourself in that moment. And then you realize, oh, like, you know, I'm being pushed to excel in this way, in this way. And then it's like, let me level up. So you keep on like going up these stairs, and you keep on growing, and you keep on becoming the person you were meant to be. And like, you keep on like almost unlocking new potentials for yourself and surprising yourself in like the most beautiful ways. And I'm saying yourself, but what I mean is for me. And I don't know, I just really liked his song Fear because it really talked about this like, you know, healing can be very cyclical, and you can kind of reach a peak, and then I'm gonna start talking for myself. I've like reached these peaks, and then I'm just like, oop, I'm gonna go down a little bit. Like what happened over the last couple of weeks with with the coaching, with the Muay Thai, like, am I gonna be good enough? Am I ever gonna succeed? And then like now I'm starting to come up, and I'm coming up, I'm peaking higher than I peaked before. You can't see it, but it's like I was like at this peak, and then I went down, and now I'm at this peak, and then I'm gonna go down again, and the down might not be as deep. It might be like a lower down, and then I'm gonna keep on peaking higher and higher. Yeah, I just think that's like an important distinction to make, because I don't ever want anyone, including myself, to feel like, oh, like, why does this keep happening? Why do I keep failing? It's not failure. It's just you're being shown how you can level up to gain even more success, even more wealth, even more clarity, even more knowledge. I think like, what is life if we're not constantly growing and exceeding and pushing ourselves to be the best we can be? Yeah, I feel like it seems like a bleak life to me when you've kind of reached your peak and then you're just cruising, because like, What are you pushing yourself for? What are you working towards? You know, why are we here? Those are larger questions. But yes, that was my little TED Talk. Thank you for being on my journey to work through things in my life with me. This is truly my favorite way to work through things. Yeah, well, thank you so much. If you have anything you want to talk about with fear or share with me, I would love to hear about your experiences. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this idea of fear and wisdom being opposite sides of the same coin, because I feel like, I don't know, I just think that's a really life-changing thing, and I'm honestly gonna have to sit with it for some time and like keep on playing around with it, because like, yeah, I just think it's like a groundbreaking way to take something that is seen as like negative and bad and like really flip it on its head and see it in a very positive light. And that's my favorite type of advice and my favorite type of learnings, like learnings that are expansive and help me to grow and help me to be better. I love learnings like that. That's how I like to give advice as well. Yeah, well, thank you so much. Hope you have a good rest of your day, week, night, day. I already said that, but enjoy your time, and please reach out if you have anything you'd like to share with me. Okay, bye. Oh, and thank you for dealing with my little video glitch. I swear I charged both my mics, but whatever. Things happen, shit happens, we roll with it.